Hello, my friends, and welcome to Quartet. I'm John Peterson from the Arlington Institute, and we're coming to you from beautiful little resort town in the Appalachian Mountains, Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, as we do every couple of weeks when we get together with the rest of our panelists to have an in-depth discussion about some significant issue related to the amazing kind of transition that we're all experiencing on this planet. And I'd like to welcome today Kingsley Dennis from the UK. Hello, Kingsley. Nice to have you with us.
Hello, John. Hello, Greg. Good to be back from the UK. And we're having a bit of nighttime activity over here in the UK, as you can see. Hope it doesn't affect my bandwidth.
And Greg Braden, our old friend, is coming to from the Southwest. Hi, Greg.
Hello, John. Hello, Kingsley. We have a triad instead of a quartet today. We're missing Penny. And it's good to be with you, gentlemen. I am coming to you from a raging ice snowstorm right outside my wall here. And if anything happens with the connection, I'll be back as soon as I can. I'm on backup systems here, but I just wanted to let you know.
Well, it's been unusually seasonable or seasonal or warm, I guess I should say, almost spring-like here.
Wow.
But it's going to be 80 degrees in a couple of days, and so that's an anomaly for sure. And it's an anomaly here today without Penny Kelly, our dear friend who had a little bit of an emergency surgery, and she's doing well, and she's convalescing, and she'll be back just as soon as she can, and sends along her warm greetings. So our topic today, it has to do with frequency. Now I'm an electrical engineer, and so I relate to frequency and so on, and a lot of people talk about this in terms of vibration, and vibration has does not relate to how many times. There's no quantitative aspect of vibration. You can't measure vibration without talking about frequency and other kinds of things. And so what we're really talking about is frequency. And why are we talking about frequency? We're talking about frequency because perhaps the most common kind of fundamental thread to every source that talks about making this transition to this new world and humans preparing themselves for this transition, every source says you have to raise your frequency. You have to raise your vibration. Is typically the way they talk about it. And I've had a number of people come to me and say, "What does this mean? I mean, I'd like to do this. How in the world do you get from here to there? What do you got to do to raise your frequency? What is it? I mean, how do you feel differently? Do you do things differently? How does that, how do you know if your vibration is higher or high enough? I mean, how does this work? What in fact is the kind of vibration that we're supposed to be raising, and how does that all work?"
So I think for me as a scientist, the bottom line is this. We are biological oscillating beings living on an oscillating planet, and our planet goes through oscillating shifts or shifts in its oscillations on a periodic basis. So we are certainly going through one of those right now. Rather than focus on trying to raise the vibration, however, initially, I think what's important is that we find harmony within the systems of where we are in the moment, that we find harmony. This is what the heart-brain coherence exercises are all about. The heart-brain, the discovery of neurons in the heart that we can harmonize with neurons in the brain that will bring harmony to the systems and health and healing to the systems of the body, because they are finely tuned to what is called Earth's magnetic field line resonance frequencies. That's the magnetic field under our feet. So I think the key first, John, is to find harmony for ourselves where we are, because everyone's in a different place. And from that harmony. So of course, that involves all the things we know, becoming the best version of ourselves, diet, exercise, nutrition, But from an epigenetic perspective, one of the most powerful things we can do is to self-regulate the inner emotions. The emotions are creating the greatest harmony. So when we find ourselves living in gratitude, deep states of gratitude, appreciation, care, this is where meditation and things like that come from. So we find the harmony first. With that harmony achieved, then we can take a harmonious system and begin to elevate that system in the bandwidth of other frequencies. And this begins with the brain states. From a place of harmony, we're able to then activate this biological resonator that we have. And we begin to achieve higher brain states, higher heart states, but they're all working in harmony. This is the key. You don't want a system out of balance, an entire system out of balance, to take that out of balanceness and simply elevate it into a higher frequency where you're still out of balance, where everything becomes more pronounced. So I think what we're all looking at right now, if we can become the best versions of ourselves and we find the harmony in our bodies and our lives now, that harmony will match where Earth is leading. And it's not something necessarily we have to do and chase and strive to achieve, because we've accepted the responsibility to become the best version of ourselves. And through that, we are now in tune with the Earth, and we ride with the Earth as Earth goes through those changes.
If we get down to basics, to simplify this, we can understand that there are two extremes of vibration, which are chaos and order, equilibrium, disequilibrium, negativity, positivity. And we can use those words, but basically there's disorder and order. So anything that we see in the world, all the negativity, all the fear, all the chaos, that's disorder. That's a very heavy resonance and vibration. And then there's order, harmony, equilibrium, and balance, which is what we may call the finer vibration. And it is the harmony resonance which is evolutionary, because evolutionary drivers have to go through a vector of coherence, a trajectory of coherence. That's evolutionary. The disequilibrium, the chaos, the negativity, that's de-evolutionary, because it doesn't have coherence. Now, if we look at the external events in the world, all the fear, the negativity, the warmongering, that we can feel is a denser, lower vibration. That's disorder. So how do we deal with that? How do we resonate at a higher frequency? I would say two things. One, attention. Two, identification. Your attention, you have to be self-aware where we put our attention to. If we put our attention to the chaos in the world and the lower vibrations, naturally by the law of vibrations, we will start to resonate and attune with where we put our attention. So we have to use self-observation and self-awareness of where we put our attention to. The second one, identification, is that what we identify with, we naturally resonate with. Again, that's just a law of energetics. So if we identify with something negative or fear or insecurity, our whole cellular level will start to, it's called entrainment. Just like you tune your musical instrument, you will entrain the vibration of your cellular body into that like-to-like resonance.
If we're trying to become a higher vibrational being because we're afraid of what happens if we don't, that will probably keep us from achieving that goal to begin with. And it does, it gives us a very, very different perspective on life and the way that we live our lives in the world. And also it goes back to even part of the questions that we answered at the beginning. If we are experiencing a galactic superwave, and we are experiencing different frequencies of energy as our solar system and our planet moves through the Milky Way, then it makes sense that as energetic beings, as energetic systems, we would have to shift to match the reference signal of what our planet now is becoming.
And really, your vibration, your frequency, your resonance is a matter of choice. You don't have to run down the street looking for the energy. You don't have to chase it. It's a matter of choice. And it's choosing those aspects in life that make us more human, those aspects which align with the conscience. The conscience knows what is right, what is good. You know, you can tell yourself a lie, but your conscience knows what is the truth. So it's about aligning with your conscience and doing what you feel to be right. And if there's more negativity in the world, that gives us a window of opportunity to see that and to make a choice not to go anywhere near there. So maybe we can take the negativity as an advantage. Why is the negativity accelerating? Because we're moving to a point where we have to make our choice, our frequency choice, and perhaps that acceleration is causing us to make our choice quicker. These are quickening times. Frequency is abstract, but the conscience and the feeling of the heart is practical.
There is a place in the middle of all this chaos and this uncertainty that where you have hope, where you have some sense of that you know where you're going, that things are under control, even though you don't know about it, that it's essentially a loving and a benign kind of world or a universe or environment that we all live in, and that we have this amazing kind of opportunity to kind of participate and be a part of that. It's a really different kind of mindset that you've both alluded to, but the derivative of that in practical kind of terms of this sense of hope, of course, comes out happiness and joy and love and those kinds of characteristics that are not there if you're afraid. Well, we've just about run ourselves out of time. We come to you from the Arlington Institute, as I said earlier, located in our little resort town about 100 miles from Washington and Baltimore on the East Coast of the United States. And we hold forth here with many programs, all related toward this transition to a new world. We have transition talks where different speakers like Greg and Penny Kelly and many others come, and we have a newsletter called the Future Edition, which is free, and you can get complete information about this at arlingtoninstitute.org, and we hope that you'll check that out and come back and be with us again. And thanks so much, and so take care. Goodbye.
Thank you all so much. Take care.
Very well.